and the community are essential partners in the process of schooling. Knowing how to effectively collaborate with these key partners will serve you well throughout your career. Family education and support are important responsibilities of the early childhood professional. Children's learning begins and continues within the context of the family unit, whatever that unit may be. Learning how to comfortably and confidently work with parents and families is an essential part of teaching children. Let's take a look at a few local educators' perspectives on building relationships and communicating with families and parents of children in their classrooms.
I think it's extremely important to build positive relationships with parents right off the bat. I try within the first week or two of school to send a positive email, a positive note, touching base about something that I love about their student, because then when I have to talk to them about the hard stuff, if it's a behavior issue or it's an academic issue, it's so much easier to reach out to them and for them to be receptive if they know right away that I actually care about their child.
I think it's important to build relationships early with parents because parents know their children better than teachers do. Parents can lend insight, tips, advice, and support to help their children to be successful as possible. Kelly Batoff, kindergarten teacher at Maple Leaf Elementary.
If they feel that you're on their side and that parents know that you want to establish a relationship with their kid, every decision, every thought they have about school is going to be colored by how they think their teacher feels about their kid. If they know that the teacher wants their child to do well and wants to establish a relationship and all that, then they're going to automatically have a more positive tint to everything that they see and think about the school. They'll give you the benefit of the doubt. They'll work a little extra to go for you. They'll bring the kid around to support you. And you might also find an opportunity to be able to use them in some way, either volunteering or use some of their resources or things like that.
A positive foundation leads to a partnership between the teacher and the parent and also provides the child with the greatest opportunity for success.
The easiest way for me to communicate is through email. I have all of my parents in a Google Doc and all of their emails, so all I have to do is go in and highlight their email, drop it in. My parents are always checking their emails. They're not always checking Class Dojo or Remind or something like that. So I feel like I've had the most success with just direct emails. I have a student whose parents don't speak very good English. So sometimes I'll have to use Google Translate to translate my email so that they can read it. I would just type everything out, Google Translate it, send it home, ask the parent to sign it, and bring it back so that I know that they actually read it. But there's definitely ways to get around all of that.
Right.
And even a quick phone call during lunch or planning period at the beginning or the end of the day really can make a huge difference in building a relationship.
I try to make phone calls to introduce myself. I make a getting to know your teacher page that goes home on the first day. I send home weekly class newsletters. I send daily dojo messages about what's going on and what's coming up, homework, tests, etc. I will call or text, depending on a parent's choice, for good and not so good reasons. I make an effort to get parents to come in for conferences. Nikki Rose, second grade teacher at Maple Leaf Elementary.
I think the ideal situation is the school is updating the parent frequently, and that's a two-way street. The parent is also updating the school frequently, and it doesn't have to be, 3-page letters, as some parents will, but just an update. Hey, their grandma passed away, or I'm not seeing any homework coming home. Is that what it's supposed to be, or something like that? And those little questions back and forth, I think that's important for the groundwork or the foundation. But then there also needs to be face-to-face conversations too, and maybe that's volunteer opportunities in the class, or you see them at the school picnic, or those sorts of things where there's a comfortability between the teacher and the parent. There's a respect in what the parents are trying to do, but there's also a respect from the parents' perspective in terms of what the school is trying to do, and that both of them feel like they have the best interest of each at heart. I think that's probably the ideal when there's a trust, that the parent trusts that the school is doing the best they can, and the school trusts that the parent is following up with what their conversations are.
A lot of times, if the parent didn't have a good schooling experience, it can definitely reflect in like the whole conference thing. And if I can't get them to come in for conferences, I always try to touch base with them on the phone. At conferences, face-to-face with the parent, that I started doing a lot of years back, is I really try to pick out like certain positive things that I love about their child. Like, you know, your child tells the best jokes, or they smile. I love the way they smile, or they really brighten my day. Like, even if it's a more difficult student, I try to find something. And then at the end of the conference, I always try to say, I just want to let you know that you're doing a really great job as a parent. Like, keep it up. Like, you know, I see greatness in your child, and, you know, that starts with you as the parent. I really try to pump up the student by, like, encouraging the parent also.
If parents need me, I'm here. If I need them, I always know I can reach out in that direction as well. It's a partnership. Neither one of us can do it alone.
Research indicates that children whose parents are involved in schools have less behavior problems, increased achievement, and lower dropout rates. The critical link to involving parents is teachers. Teachers initiate the communication and establish the environment which leads to collaboration between both parents and families. Frequent personalized phone calls home immediately increase students' engagement in school, as measured by homework completion, in-class behavior, and in-class participation. When parents foster positive learning environments at home and are engaged in their students' schooling, kids have much better academic outcomes. It is essential for school leaders and teachers to better understand how they can engage parents and enlist their support. School leaders play a significant role in promoting teacher-parent communication by making active outreach to parents a school-wide priority and by dedicating resources to these efforts. Developing the hearts and minds of young people is too large and important of a task for schools to take on themselves. New research has helped to illustrate how schools and teachers can expand their positive influence on students by engaging parents as partners in the education process. It's up to schools to provide the infrastructure and expectations, and to teachers to advocate for the time and support necessary to do this work.
The idea that we came up with to maintain positive parent-teacher communications and to help build relationships is to have multiple tools of communication available for the parents. Promotion for communication within our classroom will start at the beginning of the school year by issuing a newsletter or survey to the parents. The newsletter and survey will ask them how they would like information regarding their child to be communicated with them and how frequently. The main goal of conducting a survey is to meet the parents where they're at. In our classroom, we want to effectively communicate with our parents, and that begins with knowing what means are accessible to them in order to receive information. After collecting the survey from each parent or guardian, we will look through each of the surveys to see what tool will be the best form of communication for that child. We won't use a tool that's not feasible or effective for that family. For example, if I have a parent, through observation of their survey, let me know they currently do not have access to internet, I won't use a tool that requires them to need internet. However, through the survey, the parent informed me that their child's book bag will be checked every day when she arrives home from school. I will implement a special communication folder between me and the parent so they have a daily record of their child's day, which will include what was worked on during the school day, behaviors, and highlights from the child's day.
In my future classroom and as an educator, I will be diligent in establishing a relationship with all parents of students in the classroom, communicating with them and calling not only about concerns, but keeping in contact with them about students' or child success. Daily and weekly individualized messages to update and stay in the loop with parents will be a priority for me while in the classroom. To keep parents engaged, I will offer a variety of in-class volunteer opportunities, working both with students directly and helping with class organization and grading. It was amazing to interview current educators and learn about their experience with building relationships and communicating with parents and families. This project was eye-opening in that I was able to gain a firm understanding of the true teamwork it takes to help a child succeed in the classroom.
Having experience with communicating with parents by teaching at a preschool, I have witnessed the benefits of healthy parent relationships. When I began teaching, I made it my goal within the first couple of weeks to get to know my parents by asking about their day, asking about their child's interests, and goals they have for their child. By doing this, the parents felt more comfortable with leaving their child in my care. During pickup, I would always highlight the child's positives throughout the day, if they met any milestones, and shared their artwork. Sending pictures of the child to the parent was another step I took to build these relationships. By doing this, it made delivering difficult news about their child's day a tad bit easier. I noticed by taking the time to build the positive relationships that most of the parents were understanding of whatever news I had to share with them, whether it be good or bad.
The relationship a child has with his or her teacher can have an impact on how they develop throughout school and home. With children, the most impactful adults they will encounter in their lives are immediate family members and their teacher. These are the adults who they are going to be spending the most amount of time with.
When both parents and teachers are able to effectively communicate and develop positive, healthy relationships, they are able to collaborate to develop skills to support the child's development and learning.